Richard Gere's mesmerizing good looks and extraordinary acting skills have made him a Hollywood legend for many years. Conversely, his most recent revelation surprised his 74-year-old admirers. According to reports, Gere said that he had found his soulmate in a certain woman. To set the stage for this profound insight, let's examine Richard Gere's biography and personal connections. Richard Gere was born on August 31, 1949, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the second of 5 children. Doris Anna Tiffany and Homer George Gere were his parents, and they were Mayflower ancestors. His career in music began when he was a student, when he played instruments and wrote musical theater scores. He did, however, opt to go in a different direction after high school. While attending UMass Amherst, Gere dabbled in gymnastics and philosophy, but his true calling was acting. His breakout role in the 1973 London production of Grease occurred after he had spent 2 years acting in college. In addition to The Taming of the Shrew, his acting career was strengthened by his appearances in other plays. Gere made her big screen debut in Report to the Commissioner. While filming An Officer and a Gentleman as a prospective Navy officer, he seemed more at ease than in 1977's Looking for Mr. Goodbar or 1978's Days of Heaven. However, American Gigolo was released before to the picture's launch. Acting in blockbusters like Runaway Bride, Primal Fear, and Pretty Woman propelled Gere to fame, and he went on to receive accolades like the Golden Globe for his performance in 2002's Chicago. These recognitions displayed his significance to the film industry. Primetime Emmy and Golden Globe nominations are among his many. On top of that, People magazine ranked him among the 50 most gorgeous men in the world. This is the reason why he has graced the covers of several publications. But there were challenges on his journey as well. Despite Looking for Mr. Goodbar, 1977, his early popularity, Gere still had his fair share of obstacles. His late 70s altercation with Sylvester Stallone caused him to be replaced in that year's The Lords of Flatbush, an episode. His portrayal of a gay Holocaust survivor in the film Bent occurred at a period when the LGBTQ+ community was far less accepted. Taking on such a strange position was a risk, and you should brace yourself for the inevitable backlash. His career may have been ruined if people didn't like it or found it controversial. His performance in Bent showcased his adaptability and fearlessness in challenging himself. It was emphasized that he would deliver various material and give complex people depth. The 1980 film American Gigolo and the 1982 film An Officer and a Gentleman were both flawed in their own ways. It wasn't simple to choose pieces that would appeal to viewers while yet making money. Maintaining a healthy equilibrium between the needs of financial success and those of artistic fulfillment was a constant struggle for him throughout his career. Richard Gere had to confront his own mental issues in addition to these external factors. The spotlight on his extramarital affairs and several relationships affected both his private life and his successful career. From 1971 to 1978, he was in a relationship with American actress Penelope Milford. Their relationship lasted from the early to mid-1970s. This was only one chapter among several of Gere's short relationships during that time. Another instance is his connection with Brazilian artist Sylvia Martins, which began in the late 1970s and continued until the mid-1980s. The connection Gere had with Martins in 1978 led him to Nepal, where he met Tibetan lamas and monks. Because of this formative experience, he became a devoted Buddhist and, in time, a staunch supporter of the Dalai Lama and the Gelug school of Tibetan Buddhism. The romantic adventures of Gere, however, were far from ended. He dated American actress Tuesday Weld in 1980, after his breakup with Sylvia. Weld, who was born Susan Kerr Weld, was a famous actress who worked in film and television. She is now retired. Their relationship ended that year. A friend of Richard Gere's, Carol Mallory, was an actress and model in the 1970s. They started dating in 1970 and dated all the way until 1975. The time Gere spent with Mallory was also a pivotal point in his private life. Gere was described by Mallory as a legendary and unforgettable lover in her book Picasso's Ghost. Mallory also spoke to Gere's kindness, compassion, and flexibility when discussing their relationship. Because of this role, Gere is even more famous as a seductive sex symbol who never ceases to wow his admirers. Dawn Steele was Gere's love interest from 1975 to 1978, and their relationship was only one example of his exciting dating life. Since Steele would later become a wealthy Hollywood executive and a big role in the film industry, this period was pivotal. During their time together, Steele was still carving out a career for herself in the film business. She started off her career by launching a firm and dabbling in different types of entrepreneurship with her first spouse. Although Steele's romantic involvement with Gere was drawing to a close, her career in the film industry was booming, and her connection with Gere had served as an informal introduction to Hollywood. Things really started to take off for Steele in Hollywood once he obtained a job as director of marketing at Paramount Pictures in 1978. This role launched her into stardom, and she went on to become the first woman to lead Columbia Pictures, a major U.S. film studio. His short relationship with Steele, 1975-1978, was a major part of Gere's busy acting career and artistic endeavors in the mid to late 1970s. Considering the significance of Steele in the long run, it also highlights Gere's connections in the film industry. In spite of this, Gere continued to have a full dating schedule. Priscilla Presley is another name linked to him, even if their supposed encounter in 1983 was brief. Former Priscilla lover Mike Edwards states in his autobiography that Presley confessed to an affair with Gere. During a conversation, Priscilla supposedly told Edwards, "Oh, he's a wonderful man." I then asked, "Did you ever sleep with him?" And she confirmed, "Yes, we did." I then asked, "How many times?" And she said, "Just once." I asked, "What happened?" And she explained, "We met at a party and we just clicked. We had a great time and ended up in bed together." This story gives credence to Gere's flirtatious lifestyle, and the fact that their relationship was classified shows how private Gere could be in a committed relationship. Throughout the 1990s, Richard Gere's romantic interests continued, even as his scandalous affair with supermodel Cindy Crawford gained national attention. In 1988, while attending a barbecue put on by photographer Herb Ritz, he first lay eyes on Cindy. Despite Gere's fame from songs like Pretty Woman, the 22-year-old Crawford was starting to make waves in the fashion industry, appearing in Vogue and leading campaigns for major brands like Revlon, Pepsi, and Calvin Klein. Despite their age difference and cultural barriers, a spark was ignited. Soon after they began covertly living together in New York City, their romance blossomed. Since they had an interest in Buddhism and meditation, they traveled to Nepal and India together. It was Gere's age, experience, and influence, Crawford said, that inspired her to break away from the high-fashion elite and launch her own profession. Both Gere and Crawford's romance and wedding, which took place in December 1991 in Sin City, were completely unplanned. The Little Church of the West was the site of a brief and straightforward ceremony. Both the unconventional ceremony and Gere's proposal of a night in Vegas lingered in Crawford's memory. Wearing a navy blue Armani suit and accessorizing with a tinfoil ring, she matched the casual tone of the event. Their unconventional beginnings did not prevent their marriage from becoming a turning point in their lives. Despite this, they did not have a trouble-free, happy ever-after marriage. They divorced in 1995 after 4 years of marriage because of their hectic schedules, different life paths, and therefore, different priorities. The glamour and success that Gere and Crawford had as a couple in the 90s are evident in their prolonged recognition after their breakup. However, there's a lot more to Gere's romantic life than this. Following his split with Cindy Crawford, he returned to his former sweetheart, Carrie Lowell. They were together for almost 10 years, but their relationship ended in a terrible divorce. Carrie and Gere met in the 1990s, and 7 years after Gere's divorce from Cindy Crawford in 1995, they were married in 2002. Homer James Jigme, the lone son of the Gere family, was born in the year 2000 nevertheless. Their friendship was influenced by their varied ambitions and experiences, however. Gere was more of an introvert, but Lowell wanted them to be more publicly associated. When Gere and Lowell decided to split in September 2013, it terminated their 11-year marriage. Divorce procedures were drawn out and heated because of disagreements over the couple's assets and Gere's alleged $45 million wealth. Ignoring their disagreements, they quickly agreed to share parenting responsibilities for their son Homer. In 2016, exactly 3 years after the separation, the divorce processes were officially concluded. Despite making many court appearances, the couple was unable to resolve their financial concerns linked to the divorce without agreeing to secretive settlement terms. Even after the divorce, Lowell continued performing, making appearances in many films and television series. Richard Gere's fortunes turned around when he met the Spanish activist Alejandra Silva in 2014. They would eventually tie the knot. The two became close when Gere hired a boat from Silva's dad for a project over a decade ago. Not until 2014, in a 5-star Italian hotel owned by Silva's family, will their lifestyles really clash. Their 2016 romance was made public by Alejandra Silva, a mother and activist with blonde hair who was born in Galicia, in an interview with Hola magazine. "Richard has been my hero in real life," the lady remarked. Their romance, which began soon after they met and remained secret for years, developed rapidly despite a 33-year age gap. As Gere put it, "I was a little lost, without light, and meeting him gave sense to my life. I felt like someone was stretching out his hand and showing me the true path." This was in reference to Gere's life being somewhat confused. Her father was the club's vice president, and allegations circulated that Alejandra had an affair with Roberto Carlos, a prominent left-back for Real Madrid. Alejandra went to Lewiston School in Dorset and came from a Real Madrid family. While going through a divorce from her first husband, Govan Friedland, the son of American mining mogul Robert Friedland, and meeting Gere, a new emotion emerged. Their relationship blossomed into a friendship, and in June 2015, they admitted their relationship to one another. After choosing to keep their courtship secret, they secretly sealed the wedding in April 2018. While we are going through this path and suffering the various ups and downs of life, we aspire to transform them into the path of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Silva shared on Instagram 3 months after their wedding. Richard found a lifelong companion who shared his values and a profound love with Silva. Silva is employed by a charitable organization that shares Richard's dedication to ending homelessness in Spain. Silva says that Alejandra is living her ideal life as a result of their marriage. Alejandra is described by Silva as beautiful, smart, sensitive, committed to helping people, fun, patient, forgiving, a great cook, and the maker of the best salads in the world. He is ecstatic to be married to Alejandra. She raves about Richard, describing him as the most humble, sensitive, affectionate, attentive, funny, generous man that I've ever met. It's clear they're very much in love. Richard writes her a new song every day and is always making sure she knows how much he values her. He continued the tradition of daily serenades after they were married, just as he had done from the moment he proposed, with a bunch of flowers every day until she accepted. Richard Gere and Alejandra Silva reconciled after their divorces, years after they had drifted apart. Despite their vast age difference, they got close. Silva admitted that there were challenges, saying, "Love stories with a complicated beginning, where you have to overcome difficulties together, can bring you closer. I'm sure I did have some doubts at some point in the beginning. He was more convinced than me, but from very early on we felt that we were destined to be together." This statement further confirms their profound love for each other. Silva continued, "I'm not ignoring our age difference and what it means to be with a Hollywood star, but when there's such a strong karmic energy, the problems disappear." Despite the fact that Hola and Silva were already very close in age, their shared love of helping others only served to deepen their bond. Gere supports Tibetan culture and fights to stop the HIV/AIDS pandemic, while Silva fights homelessness in Spain with her Rise Foundation. Sharing these values, in my opinion, strengthens their relationship. Since Silva had slept on the streets and was not frightened to get her hands filthy, she could empathize with the homeless, she claimed. Additionally, she said in an interview with Hola from 2015 that she always devotes her utmost to all of her endeavors. If she can't do it, she would rather not. Their first child together, a boy named Alexander, was born in 2019. Their shared history of parenthood from previous marriages made this a really historic event. In 2020, they were elated to announce the arrival of their second child. In spite of the challenges, Silva has recognized the powerful karmic energy that helps them overcome them as a couple with a renowned Hollywood actor or actress. They have settled onto a ranch in upstate New York and look forward to spending time in peace and quiet there. Richard Gere proved that love may knock at any time by finding his true partner, Alejandra Silva, in his golden years. His kind and caring nature shone through. Despite her 3 marriages, Gere found a true connection with Silva, proving that love can blossom at any age with the right person. As a means to convey holiday pleasantries to her Instagram followers and friends one Christmas season, Silva published a heartwarming family picture. With the message reading, "Merry Christmas from our family to yours," she shared a picture of herself and her husband, together with their 2 sons, standing on a pier and looking out over a smaller lagoon. Silva elegantly wore a golden maxi dress, while the boys matched their Crocs sneakers with shorts and shirts. Like his children, Gere chose to dress casually. At another time, Silva also gives a glimpse of their family enjoying a leisurely walk across the beautiful autumn landscape. The large shadows cast by Gere and Silva's raised hands on the sidewalk astounded Alexander. Looking at his own shadow on the pavement, he even spread his arms in a similar way. After adding the caption, "Daddy, Mommy, and Alexander," Silva tagged the picture. Silva attended her husband's official citizenship ceremony a few weeks later, a very important event in her family's history. They took a picture together under an American flag. Lovely to see in their relationship is the unending support that Gere and Silva provide one another. In person at events, like their out-of-the-ordinary public appearance at the 2024 City Harvest Gala on April 10th at Cipriani 42nd Street in New York City, or online, they are always there for one another, whether it's to share memories or provide support during difficult times. The public displays of affection and support they exchange are clear evidence of the close bond they have, built on admiration and respect for one another. Families have a significant role in shaping the relationship between Gere and Silva. Their family is their first priority, and they offer a loving and supportive atmosphere for their 2 young children, as well as the boy from Silva's earlier marriage, passed on to the next generation. Their values are shown in their commitment as parents, the value they place on making lasting experiences, and the significance of family harmony. In interviews and social media posts, Gere and Silva often praise each other's attributes, expressing their love and affection for one another despite their polite and admiring relationship. Their outward displays of affection and respect reveal a profound emotional bond and true appreciation for one another's attributes and abilities. As a pair, Gere and Silva develop and mature during their time together, sharing in one another's triumphs and tragedies. In this relationship, we will grow as individuals, achieve our common objectives, and forge a stronger, lasting connection. Their deep love and friendship is shown by their steadfast dedication to bolstering one another's development and happiness. Finally, their strong emotional connection, mutual respect, and shared values form the foundation of a magnificent tapestry that is their union. As an example to everyone around them, their dedication to one another, their families, and their shared journey showcases the most beautiful parts of their loving, supporting, and joyous relationship. We hope you find comfort in the story of Gere and Alejandra Silva's love. What are your thoughts on the romance between Gere and Alejandra? Feel free to voice your ideas in this space. I will be in touch shortly.